part of being really inconsistent with uploading is that I can never really divulge things about myself. Not that I'm totally sure that's something I want to do, but I thought I'd do an update video because they're a little bit more chill and I mean that I can kind of try and keep myself more consistent about uploading. Something that's very abundantly clear about me is that I don't really like vlogging. There's an artificiality to it, especially when making a video entertaining and engaging that I can't stomach, and they're probably the easiest and quickest update videos to do, but I don't like doing it. I made this video last autumn and I can't really say I enjoyed making it. I like vlogging with people, but I pretty much always either forget or feel too awkward. Plus I never take my camera anywhere, so I don't really give myself the option to vlog with people. But I say all of this to tell you that I went to the Eras tour. Here's me at the show. I'll put a picture here. I wanted to vlog this really badly. Like one day randomly I did actually just start making a whole little clip about me thrifting my outfit, and then I just like stopped. The day of the tour was super hectic and there was simply no time to whip out a camera for anything other than pictures, so there's no videos. The same thing kind of applies to the fact that I went to Vienna recently. Did I even try to vlog it? Not really. I do have a room tour that I did for my mum though. I have an entirely different type of video in mind to chronicle my trip. It might be a little too frustrating for me to make, so there's a good chance I give up, but for now, here are some pictures of me and my friend, and I will see if I end up making that video. Other updates are that I am overly enthusiastic about the new season of House of the Dragon, even if it's not as good as the first season. It has, however, put me in a mood for fantasy. Not to read Game of Thrones though, never that, unless Winds of Winter suddenly gets a release date. But what I'm about to say is kind of in complete antithesis of the fact that I'm really in the mood for fantasy because of the fact that I really am obsessed with that show and that world. But yeah, I will then read those books unless George gives me an actual date, a release date for Winds of Winter, and then I'll dive in. But until then, I'm just gonna have to struggle. This summer I've only read 2 books, and they are both novellas. Poor showing from me. I do have a job and a life now, but I still feel like I'm slacking. I told myself I wouldn't be slacking, but here I am, slacking. I had a conversation with my friend when I was on holiday where my bold claim is that I would be at maximum life capacity if I had 4 coffees a day. Would this maybe have long-term implications for my health? Yeah, probably. Would I quickly become caffeine dependent and tolerant, needing me to drink more? I can only imagine. But I think if I had a body strong enough to drink coffee before work, I could get so much more reading done on my commute instead of just falling asleep. I also think it would set such a good precedent for the rest of the day that I've started reading early on. The thing I read was Small Things Like These. I made a whole video reviewing this because I'm trying to make reviewing media a priority. I'll link that video here. And doing videos like these that are a bit more updatey, it lets me have more time to write those. Not that it should take me as long as it does, but I'm just very particular about how they should be, so it just takes a bit longer. Also, I always kind of procrastinate making those, so it takes me ages to really fully get into a book and review it. But Claire Keegan is 3 for 3 with me, and I can't wait to read her short story collection, which is one of the main things I think I still have to read from her. She makes very short books, so it's very easy to read. But the next thing I read was some short fantasy. I wanted some of that, and so I had The Black God's Drums on my TBR, and I picked that up. I don't have a physical copy of either of these books, so you just have to watch my hands like blowing around. But yeah, I picked this up. I really liked it, though I'm not really sure on the writing style of this book. I love good characterization, and I don't think I was very involved with the main character. I have a longer series from the same author on my TBR, so we'll have to see whether that was a story-specific issue. I did, however, really like the world that they built in this, and, you know, for that reason, I think I do want to try a longer series because something that has more time to flesh out characters. The next 2 books are ones that I haven't read yet, but I want to in the course of the summer. And the first one is Love in the Big City. That's a literary fiction novel, not quite the fantasy vibe that I said I wanted. This follows 2 friends who are students of Seoul, and the main character is queer or gay, I'm not really sure which one, and it's not really something that I've seen discussed much in Korean media, so I think that'll be an interesting dimension to the story. To be fair, I think that actually might be the bulk of the situation, but the main reason I picked this up is because of the cover. I think the cover is gorgeous. Obviously, like, it'll be here, but like, the Marlboro Reds in this painting picture, incredible, fantastic, beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. The story, I am interested, but like, again, I don't know if I'll pick it up. I'm just putting it out there in the ether and like as something that I've got on my phone, and I've like got it from the library so I can read it. Another book that I've not read yet but I've got ready to read is 84 Charing Cross Road, which is a book of letters between a woman in America and a bookshop in London in the post-war era. They help each other out in a time where being able to source and find things and friendship sort of seemed rare to them. 2 of my favourite YouTubers recommended reading this, and I really trust their reading taste, so I was very intrigued to pick this up. I also imagine myself sort of flying through this because I did start it kind of casually at some point last week or like a couple weeks before, and I read the first 2 letters and it was really, really easy and quick and digestible, so I do see myself getting around to this at least before the summer is over. Here are some of the books I probably should also get to because I got them from the library. So this is my library haul, and I have these books physically. I finished reading Earthings a couple months ago, and Convenience Store Woman was probably my favourite book of last year. I think it is my favourite book of last year. Therefore, I thought I would read Life Ceremony. I've gotten quite good at like reading books from authors I actually really like instead of just getting one off into a book and then leaving that author behind. I think this is a short story collection, which scares me because her books are a bit absurd, and that's not really how I like my short stories, and her books really round out to being full picture, complete and poignant when the message comes together at the end. So it'll be interesting to see if that comes across in shorter pieces of work like this. But yeah, I am interested. I picked up A Brief Marriage because it's about Tamil people, and I am Tamil people, so, you know, easy. Plus, I thought it was short, and deceptively, it's sort of not. You know, the font is quite small, and it's set over 24 hours, which is a little bit hit or miss with me. I really don't like Mrs. Dalloway, and usually that's kind of my benchmark for 24-hour stories. But it is set in a refugee camp, and during the Civil War, which is incredibly personal to me, so I can't say that I'd hate it. This is pretty beloved as well, and the author's other book, A Passage North, was shortlisted for the Booker Prize, which I guess spells good things. The other book that I got was A Happy Place. Not sure it's ever going to get read. I don't know if I'll ever get around to this. Yeah, I might just see how it goes. It is summer, so it's probably a better time to read this, but I tried to read it last summer when I was on holiday and I just didn't care. But I have the physical copy from the library now. Maybe I'll care more. Maybe if we go to the beach, I'll read this there. I don't know. Like, there's something about this that makes me not want to pick it up. I think it's because I know it's sad, or there's like sad elements in it. The last one is Piranesi. I started it on holiday because I read Circe and the Penelope at the beach and loved them. Really insightful and engaging beach reads set in the Mediterranean when I was also there. So I tried my luck with another Greek mythology-esque story, and boy was I wrong. Boy was I wrong. This book is much like kookier than I was expecting and requires much more brain power than I had when I was like laying on a sun lounger. It won the Women's Prize for Fiction, which to me is the best prize you can win. Plus, everyone and their mother kind of raves about this book and how amazing it is, so I'm excited. I have totally no idea where this book is going, and I've only read 4 chapters, and the world is very cool, if not confusing, but besides that, the actual plot of this is lost to me. When I have the time to give it my all, I know I'll be looking, but I assume I'll have to give it back at some point. I've just been renewing the library book again and again, and I feel like they're gonna start chasing me out to be like, give it back to us. So yeah, that was my entire updates video. Thank you for watching. I quite liked making this. Maybe this is something I'll actually make more of, not having to commit to reading something / being able to verbally vomit what I thought of what I read is quite nice. It's quite nice when I haven't made myself feel like I really need to be saying something unique and interesting, which, you know, might be a problem since I guess being interesting is something usually you'd want from a YouTube video. Anyways, like the video if you liked it, and subscribe if you're really about it. Hope you have a great day, and see you next time.